Hello, and welcome to our first segment that focuses on our La Joya Independent School District's Ford NGL and T-STEM academies. I'm Belinda Garcia, and I will be your host. Here at La Joya ISD, we have numerous academies that our students can choose from. Over the next few months, we will be taking a closer look at each one of them and answer questions that you, our community, and parents may have. Today, we will be focusing on our Academy of Health Science Professions and STEM campus. The director at that campus is Mrs. Leanne Alanis Herrera. Mrs. Herrera, thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
All right. Well, can you tell us a little bit about your campus and what health and science professions and T-STEM mean?
Well, first, it's a career academy. And so what that means for our public, if you have children that are interested in a specific career in health science professions or something in STEM, engineering, science, technology, or mathematics, then this would be a school of choice for you. An application is required. And so I know there's some confusion in our community about who actually qualifies for this program. And so I'm glad that you asked the question, like, what is this about? Right. Because at our school, anyone, whether your parents have a degree or not, is able to apply. And so if you have a career interest in health science professions or in the STEM fields, then this is a school of choice that may be for you.
Okay, and we do want to stress that anybody can apply, correct?
If your parents have a college degree, they are still able to apply, whether they have a degree or not.
Okay, and you talked a little bit about the application. Can you go through that application, or what's a process to get into your campus?
Okay, I know that for some of our students it's confusing, but for students who are in 8th grade, they have different campuses go and present to them. So 8th graders, if you are thinking about what school you want to attend, what high school, there's a lot of good choices for you. Whether it's a comprehensive high school, a school of choice, a T-STEM academy, or a Ford NGL academy. Our academy, it is a Ford NGL academy. It is an academy that focuses on STEM fields. And so if they're interested, they can apply. We'll be presenting second semester to 8th graders along with all the other campuses. And so if it's something that they're interested in, they can apply, and then we choose from there. So it is a lottery process. Just because you apply doesn't mean that you're going to get accepted. We only take in a little over 100 students.
Right. And so last year, I know, because I was a part of that process, there was just so many students that wanted to go to your campus, which is a great thing. So can you tell us a little bit about what they may be expecting, or what can they expect or if they're looking to go to your campus?
But Linda, I'm going to ask you to come back to that question, because I know that a lot of our community members are Spanish speaking, and so I'd like to address it with them. Primeramente, les quiero dar las gracias a la comunidad, porque tenemos muchos alumnos que van a nuestra escuela que sus padres hablan en español solamente, y por eso que les quiero dar las gracias por apoyar a sus niños, los que están en nuestra academia, pero también de darles más información para la comunidad a los que no han asistido a nuestra escuela. Por ejemplo, lo que se requiere por entrar a la escuela es una aplicación. No se requiere licenciatura. Si los padres sí lo tienen o no lo tienen, no importa. Si los padres ya se han graduado de colegio, también sus hijos pueden aplicar. Entonces, nuestra escuela es una academia enfocada en carreras de ciencias de salud y también del STEM, ciencias, tecnología, ingenierismo y matemáticas. Así es que si es por aplicación, nada más aceptamos poco más de 100 alumnos al año, y hay muchas escuelas que pueden decidir sus hijos a qué atender aquí en La Joya ISD. Puede ser una escuela comprensiva como La Joya, Palmview o Juárez, o puede ser una escuela T-STEM o una escuela de Ford NGL como nuestra escuela. Estamos localizados en La Joya, en el edificio Abraham Lincoln Building. Entonces, yo sé que hay mucha información que tenemos que compartir en inglés y en español, pero ahora la pregunta que me hizo era de qué pueden esperar los alumnos en nuestra escuela. So what can our children expect? They can expect work on 21st century skills, which means that not only do they have to work on their curriculum, rigorous curriculum that our teachers prepare for, but also how they collaborate, because it is a career academy, so we do expect them to learn how to work together. I have knowledge of very few careers where you don't have to work with anybody but yourself, unless you're self-employed, and even then you have employees that you have to work with. So we work on 21st century skills, and we make sure that the students are prepared to collaborate, and sometimes they don't know what is the technology for that, what are the requirements, how do we resolve issues, how do we come to a consensus. So that's a big part of our curriculum. We focus on project-based learning, and so I'm so excited about that because project-based learning has to do with how we teach things. Every teacher is required to teach the curriculum in the state of Texas, which are our standards, our TEKS, and they get assessed on that at the end of the year with our STAR test. But one of the things that our teachers do is they meet in the summer and they think about an overarching question that will drive their instruction. Right. So if you're a student at the Academy for Health Science Professions and STEM, then you're going to get instruction that is authentic, that is based on a real world issue. So you're still going to learn all of the skills that are required by the teacher to teach and then some, right. And then you're required to produce a product. So for some of our students that's a lot and they feel like that it might seem overwhelming, but it's not. The teachers will scaffold the learning and build in time to guide the students through the process. One of the fantastic things, and I'm so excited about that, is that we have career partners. And so we have people like people at Doctors Hospital at Renaissance. Mr. Mediscano has been a real big help to us. We've had the people at Regional Hospital, McAllen Regional Hospital, HEB partners, our dietitian, Ms. Gonzalez, different people that are willing to collaborate with us. Right. And so we present our driving question to them, and then they give us their feedback and they'll say, well, have you considered these things? Make sure that the kids address the following, because they are the professionals in the field. Right. And so they help guide how we prepare our instruction in a career academy.
Right. So I know part of that project-based learning, I know that y'all have done stuff with DHR, with Regional, as far as diabetes. Can you tell us a little bit about that project?
Entonces, para nuestra comunidad que habla la mayoría en español, entonces les quiero hablar a los padres de que nuestra escuela se enfoca en las habilidades del siglo XXI. Entonces, cuando están dando instrucción, también se enfocan en cómo los alumnos van a trabajar juntos, cómo van a resolver sus problemas, porque en cada carrera tenemos que trabajar con otros. Entonces, es nada más es lo que van a aprender en las clases, pero también cómo se van a hacer el proyecto juntos. Entonces, es lo que se dice en inglés project-based learning. Es instrucción que se enfoca en un proyecto. Tiene que ser algo que es real, que es un problema en nuestra comunidad, y los maestros trabajan en el verano para preparar lo que van a hacer cada uno, porque tiene que ver un tema. Entonces, todos sí dan instrucción de su parte, pero también se enfocan en un tema para toda la escuela.
Okay, so going back to the original question about the diabetes, because I know it's very important for our community, especially because there's so many people that suffer from diabetes. So can you tell us a little bit about the project that the students are doing?
I'm glad that you asked that, because our 9th graders do focus on a real issue in our community, and if you have parents like I do or grandparents, they are affected by diabetes. Right. And so I know that's a real issue for our family too. If you ask our students, when we survey them, we say, how many of you all know someone in your families that are affected by diabetes? Or they'll say, my sugar level is risen, or I need my sugar's low. Right. And so when our teachers decided to focus on something for the first year, it was going to be something related to diabetes. So the driving question actually is, what can we do to help prevent or control diabetes in our community? And the students have to come up with a project. So their English teacher will teach their English skills, research, reading, analysis, and inferencing, drawing conclusions the way they're supposed to, but with a theme of they're researching about diabetes or writing about diabetes. Right. Their health science teachers will teach them about the disease itself. The Spanish teacher, they work on translations. The BIM teacher focuses on the project itself. And history and culture is geography. How does culture affect diabetes? And if you're familiar, especially with type 2 diabetes, that's a big deal. Right. Because what we choose to put in our bodies, what we choose to eat, especially now with Christmas coming around and menudo and tamales that we all like to have, it affects our health. And so the kids have to decide how are they going to address that question. And so all of their teachers will teach a small part of how they're going to address it, but how they address it is up to the students. So right. Student voice and choice is really big.
That's awesome. And I know that you talked about the teachers and how they're focusing on the different lesson plans related to diabetes. So one of the unique things about your campus is that it's a small learning environment. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Okay, so we only accept about 100 students, a little over 100 a year. and our goal is to get to know every student by name. That's my goal. And sometimes the kids will tell me, you still haven't gotten my name, Ms. Herrera. And by December, that's my goal. I want to know everyone by name. Right. And then their strengths, what are they working on? What are their projects? And we've seen them grow. So in their classes, they're expected to present in their classes too, but also to the community. So when they work on project-based learning, we have a group of professionals come in and give them feedback. So if they've worked on a project on diabetes, then it makes sense for nurses, healthcare professionals to come in and give them feedback on, what was the cost benefit to society if we choose to go with your plan or what you're doing, how have you raised level of awareness? Right. And so they presented something like a Shark Tank and they get the feedback from professionals. So they get contact with healthcare professionals. Aside from that, through the project, they also get to work. Our ninth graders have also gone to screen fourth graders in our district for prediabetes to see, is there a concern? And so they get to work with nurses, they get to work with healthcare professionals, they learn about HIPAA, they learn about, what a healthcare professional does. Right. So at the end, they may decide, this is not for me. Or they may say, you know what, I'm really on target, this is what I want to do.
Right. So, and that's the unique thing also, because I know when we went to college, we didn't have that. So now the students get an in-depth look before they actually choose their major. So what are some of the advantages for students that go to your campus? Are they looking to get college hours, looking to get an associate's, or what are they looking at?
Well, I think that the overall experience is going to be one of the things that they're looking for. The small learning community, the rigorous curriculum. Right. They're looking for going to school with students who have the same interest. And so they're looking at colleges and universities who support this career. But yes, they do get industry certifications, or they can if they choose to do that. And they can get college hours up to an associate's degree. And so that really depends on the students and their parents. What is it that they want to focus on? And so right. In STEM fields, we look at, well, what is your career goal? Well, let's look at your degree plan. What would lead you to that career? And these are the classes you can start taking while you're in high school with us. So they do earn college credit.
Okay, so for a parent that may be watching, or a community member that has a student that wants to maybe go into the health profession, what would you recommend they do now if they're in middle school?
Okay, if they're in middle school, I know that some middle schools, like Zavala Middle School, has their students come in and take a tour of our campuses, and not just mine, other schools too, because the kids have to make a choice, and we have a lot of good choices at La Jolla ISD. So become aware, become familiar, give us a call. We are at La Jolla ISD events. We are open to the public, so they can come in and they can ask us questions. We have our number, 323-2250. So if you want to give us a call, it's 956-323-2250. Para los padres que quieren más información tocante cómo funciona nuestra escuela, entonces el número de teléfono es 323-2250.
Okay, and once they are seniors, what are they walking out with, or what sort of experience are they looking at?
Okay, so when they're seniors, the students will have already earned college hours, if that's what they chose to do. Some may have already an industry certification under their belt. In addition to that, they've met several professionals in their field, and so a lot of them can work on the experiences of getting jobs after they leave our high school with places that they've already made contacts with, because they've had several opportunities to meet professionals in their field. Right. So when they continue to go on to college, they might choose to work in the industry already as a part-time job. Mm-hmm. But students can leave our campus with college hours, with not AP certifications, but AP hours under their belt. Several of our kids have already earned AP credit, which is fantastic for the students. They can graduate as AP scholars. They can have industry certifications. So associate's degrees, dual enrollment hours. They can have AP exams that they've already passed, and they can apply that to their college hours and actually contact with people in their field. So when we have that question, I know that happened to me. You graduate and you're thinking, okay, now I want to get a job. And then they ask you, well, what experience do you have? Well, I don't, but I have a degree. So the idea is that before you leave our school, you will have experience. And right. So you may not have paid experience, but you have volunteer experience, which is a really big deal. Yes. And so you get to know whether I like that career choice or I don't like it. And then you get to say, well, I have worked with people before. I know how to get along. And you've done that since your freshman year. So that is a fantastic opportunity that La Jolla ISD offers. And at the Academy for Health Science Professions and STEM that we offer too.
Okay, so you stressed that. I know that we had talked about, I know it was just the health science professions before, but La Jolla ISD added something else to your campus. Is that correct? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
That's correct. Well, so I think if I was a parent, I'd be elated at all the opportunities that we have at La Jolla ISD, and I am. My daughter's not old enough to go to high school yet, but one of the great things is that Dr. Benavides and the school board is always looking for ways to improve what we offer for our children here at La Jolla ISD. And one of the things that they saw was some of the parents had questions about, well, what if my child, has parents who have a degree? Should they be penalized because we have a degree and we went to college? Right. And so the idea is that, no, you have other opportunities too, and this is one of them at the Academy for Real Science Professions and STEM, because now we offer other pathways in the STEM fields: science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. So for example, we talked about project-based learning in the health science professions. We also have project-based learning with our engineering component that's tied to dual enrollment with UT Austin. So our first year students, or principal students, will be taking a class that was prepared, the curriculum was prepared for by the people at UT Austin, and it's called Engineer Your World, and it is based with project-based learning. So that class is taught by Dr. Daniel Paz, and we have a group who's already starting this first year. So para los padres que no han conocido, nuestro nombre nuevo es la Academia de Ciencias de Salud, Profesiones de Ciencias de Salud y STEM. Es todavía nuestra escuela, pero el enfoque también va a ser ingenierismo, ciencia, tecnología y matemáticas. Entonces es el primer año que estamos ofreciendo clases de ingenierismo y es con clases de dual enrollment también preparados de la Universidad de Texas en Austin. Entonces es un placer tener los alumnos ahí porque también es enfocado en un proyecto también, aprendizaje con un proyecto.
So we talked about the recruitment process and that our middle school students will start having to select in the spring semester. So what are some of the things that you all do to recruit the students to your campus and gain some interest?
I think that working with the middle schools when they come in, I know not all middle schools give campus tours or have their children come in and visit, but that's one of the things that I encourage. I mean, our doors are open and so the students can come in and visit, but we also attend the La Jolla ISD event, and so it's a community event where all of the campuses talk about their schools and their academies so that the parents know that that's available to them. Of course, we offer many things at La Jolla ISD, and so we're excited to make sure that our community is aware of it so that they don't go looking other places, because it's offered right here at home, and the kids get to take part at their comprehensive high schools and their elective courses and the different activities that they have. Maybe not 100% the way they'd like, but they do get to be part of a lot of the different events that we have at La Jolla. So the ways that we do that, the La Jolla ISD event, projects like this where we talk to the community on Channel 17, and we do have our Facebook, our Twitter, we have our website that they can go to. Right. But even more than that, if we ever have any projects that we like to invite the 8th graders to come in and see, or that our kids go and visit the middle schools, especially like when we do project-based learning and they go do the pre-screenings. Those are our kids that are out there, and so they get to see, I get to be part of something like that. Right. And again, we have so many opportunities at La Jolla ISD that it's just getting the word out to our community that it's available. Right.
And we do want to stress, and I know that you touched on it, the activities, because extracurricular is very important to our high school students. Is that something that they can take part of while they attend your campus?
Well, one of the designs of the campus, and this is thanks to, again, Dr. Benavides and the school board, was that it's a school within a school for all 3 high schools. Así es que nuestra academia es una escuela entre una escuela por cada de la Juárez, de la Joya High School, de Palmview High School. Nuestros alumnos son parte de sus escuelas comprensivas. So they can take part in their elective classes. And the way we worked it out at La Jolla ISD is that they take shuttles back and forth, first and second period and 9th period. So not all throughout the day, because then they'd miss instructional time, but at the beginning of the day and at the end of the day, the students can take part in band, in football, in folclórico, and it's depending on when the classes are offered. Así es que si los alumnos realmente quieren ser parte de uno de los selectivos que se les ofrecen en las escuelas comprensivas, si es el primero o segundo periodo o el periodo 9, sí pueden tomar parte en esas actividades. O también después de la escuela, como fútbol, como béisbol o folclórico o la banda, sí se pueden tomar parte porque son alumnos de esas escuelas.
Right. Okay, well, I think you've done an excellent job, and I do want to stress the many opportunities that La Jolla ISD has to offer. Not only the Health Science Professions and STEM Academy, but we have academies at all 3 comprehensive high schools. We have the early college high schools. We have so many opportunities, and the one thing that sets La Jolla ISD apart from other campuses or from other school districts, not to take away from them either, but that they can be part of the extracurricular activities, because there's other schools that only focus on academics, which is great, but I think sometimes our students want the social skills as well. So I think that's an awesome thing that we do here at La Jolla ISD. So just to wrap everything up, if someone needs more information or wants more information, where can they contact you or your campus?
Well, I'm glad that you're saying that, because we're always looking for bright kids and kids that are interested in working hard, because they are rigorous courses, but our campus's name is the Academy for Health Science Professions and STEM, la Academia de Ciencias y Salud y STEM, localizados en La Jolla in the Abraham Lincoln Building. And so they can contact us at 956-323-2250. Again, our number is 956-323-2250, and that's the Academy for Health Science Professions and STEM at La Jolla ISD. And I'm Liana Lanicerera, the school principal there. A pleasure to work with the students of our district.
Awesome. Well, that's a wrap for the Health and Science Professions and STEM Academy. Of course, you want to stay tuned for throughout the next few months as we take a look at each academy. So, Miss Leanne, thank you so much for joining us. And for you, thank you for tuning in. We'll see you next time.